Hey guys, what's going on? Do you want to learn how to dance salsa? Because if you do, you're in the right channel. My name is Herman from salsaninja.com, and today we're talking about the number one mistake beginners make when learning how to dance salsa. So let's jump right into it. What is it? And the number one mistake I see beginners making in my classes is they try to go too fast. They don't master their foundations. They don't pay attention to the basics. They want to go to the higher levels, to the fancier, more complicated moves. They want to be a salsa ninja really quickly. And it just doesn't happen this way. You know, when I see students go to the beginners class and I see them, like, they show up to the class, they learn the basics, and they just learn to move. They just barely learn the steps, and they're like, okay, I got it, what's next? And then they learn the next turn, and they're like, okay, awesome, cool, how do I do the thing I saw you do 3 turns? Like, how do I do that? And it's like, no. That's not, you can't just jump like that right into the more complicated moves. It's good that you want to challenge yourself. It's good that you want to learn and progress quickly. But just know that everything takes time, and there is a foundation that needs to be laid out for you to grow from. And it's not, if it's weak, then when you learn, you could learn the more complicated moves. But what happens is that if the foundation is weak, you're gonna be struggling, and then you're never gonna be as good of a dancer as you could be if you mastered your foundations, if you master your basics. Now, mastering takes a long time, but what I mean is like getting really good at your foundations. Now, usually what happens to the students that they try going too fast is that you see them go to class, you see them then try to advance really quickly to the next classes. They try to copy the more fancier moves, and then when they go out salsa dancing, they feel stuck. They forget the moves. I see them freezing on the dance floor, and they always tell me, like, Herman, I just don't remember the moves that we're learning in class, and that's a sign that you're trying to go too fast. What do I mean by that? If you kept it simple, if you had a method that was simple and easy to remember, aka doing the moves at the beginning, the first beginner moves, that's what you should stick to at the very beginning. Look, when I first started learning how to dance, I remember my first party. I remember walking in feeling nervous. I remember having gone to class for about a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and all I knew was around 6 moves. And so I remember like looking at everybody looked so amazing, and me thinking to myself, like, man, like I'm nobody here. Like, I don't know any moves. Everybody here is so amazing. But after sitting down and watching everybody dance with each other, I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess everybody's here to practice, so I'm just gonna find somebody to practice with. And I saw this girl who was like 2 levels above me in class, who was going to the same studio that I was. And I came up to her and I said, hey, do you remember me from class? I'm a beginner. I want to practice. Do you want to dance with me? And she was so nice. She said, sure, let's practice. And we went on the dance floor, and all I had was just 6 moves. And this is what happened. Song starts playing. I'm like, in my head, I'm counting. I'm like, okay. I start doing my little steps, and I do the 6 moves within 20 seconds. And then, like, that's it. Like, in 20 seconds, all my moves were gone. And, like, there's still 3 minutes left of the song. Like, what do I do? And I start to panic. And the girl, like, looks at me, sees that I'm, like, nervous. And I said, whoa, like, those are all my moves. If you want to just stop, like, I mean, I could understand, like, that's all I got. And she's like, hey, like, and by the way, this, what I'm about to tell you, this is what she told me. This changed everything for me. So she said, like, just, if all you know is 6 moves, just practice that. Don't worry about it. Like, I know you're a beginner and you want to get better, so just do your 6 moves. And so for the next 3 minutes, all I did was my 6 moves. And by the end of it, I could tell that she might have been a little bit bored. I'm not going to blame her, but I felt like a champion. I'm like, yes, I danced for the first time, and it actually didn't go terrible. I didn't die. But most importantly, like, I remember the 6 moves that I learned in class, and I was able to dance with them. Like, it's possible, I could do this. And then I went on and I danced with 6 other girls that night, just doing the same 6 moves over and over and over again. And what do you think happened? I got a lot better at doing the 6 moves. And then by the end of the night, like, there was a flow to my dancing. I felt a little bit more comfortable. I felt a little bit more confident. I had more experience. And then the next day when I went to class, things made a lot more sense. And I had gone, like, I felt like I jumped 3 levels in terms of knowledge because of all the experience just from trying out the moves and just by doing. So this was only possible because, granted, I only knew the 6 moves, but I kept it simple. I knew the first 6 moves the dance studio where I was going was they had taught me. The first 6 moves, and that's all I did. And I see a lot of my students. Some of them like learn and apply immediately, but some are like, no, I don't know many moves. I don't know, like, I need to know the more complicated moves before I could feel ready to dance. And that's not true at all. You need to dance with the basics first so that you understand how they apply out on the dance floor, and so that you could get really good with them. Then you can start progressing up. But it's not until you do that you will have the experience under your belt to be able to go and try out the harder stuff. And so it's awesome that you're trying to go for the higher levels, that you're pushing yourself, you're challenging yourself. Do go to the higher level classes because they will push you. But then just know when you're out on the dance floor, keep it very simple at the beginning. Keep it so simple and pay attention to the basics. When you're in class, if you're, let's say, a beginner student and you're trying to go for the intermediate class, do that because it will push you. It'll make you catch things, like you develop the eye to understand the bigger picture faster. But if you're an intermediate and advanced dancer, go back to the level 1 class and then focus on the details. This is what's like, or even if you're a beginner student and you already feel kind of bored in the beginning class, in the level 1 class, because you think you already got it, pay attention to the details. That's where you're going to improve now. So it's good that you got the big picture, but that's not what dancing is about. Dancing is the detail. Dancing is in the details. That's what makes you a better dancer. And so I find it super funny when students are I could see that they're getting the basics, but I could see everything that they have to improve. They could improve their postures, their steps could be smaller, they could step on the ball of the foot, they could, the way they change their weight, the way they move their hands, their body movement, everything that goes into all the details that go into that. And they pay no attention to it. And they're like, no, I already got this. And so that is what you want to start paying attention to. When you already have the basics, start to focus on the details. But at the beginning, keep it simple. This is not a competition. This is not a matter of who could get to the higher level the fastest. This is a matter of how can you lay down the foundation so that it's solid, so that you could improve and have less bad habits, which is what happens when you try to go too fast. You develop all these bad habits and then you have a harder time much later trying to fix them versus developing a solid foundation right from the beginning, okay? Also, something that really helped me out is when I used to go to the dance studio, when I was first taking lessons, the dance studio had this DVDs that they sold where they taught all the moves they were teaching in class. And I bought those DVDs. I didn't have anybody to practice with at home, but I just bought the DVDs and I would watch them over and over and over again alone in my room. And that really helped me understand, because then you could really pay attention to the details, because you could rewind the tapes and you could rewind the videos and you could see what like how they're positioning their moves, what their posture looks like, and you could see what a better dancer is doing, and that would really help you out. So get yourself like a training program. My girlfriend and I, for example, we put together this training program called the Beginner Salsa Crash Course. It's the first 6 steps that you need to learn so that you can get out on the dance floor and start dancing immediately. It's an awesome program. Go check that out if you're a beginner and you need help. You're getting stuck out on the dance floor, or you feel like you want to have that foundation that I'm talking about. Go check that program out. I'm going to put a link down below in the description of this video. Anyway, guys, that's it. Keep it simple. Don't rush. It's not a competition. And learn to develop that foundation. If you already feel like you got the basics, and you now start paying attention to the details, but progress slowly, practice a lot. Don't skip over the basics. It's not a competition. Thank you, guys. Leave this video a thumbs up. Share with anybody who you think might benefit from listening to this advice, and subscribe here for more salsa tutorials, salsa tips, salsa everything. See you guys soon. Thank you so much for listening.